Today's briefing opens with an urgent patch cycle and 2 active exploitation stories, alongside a state-backed phishing campaign against encrypted messaging users and a major AI bot fraud case. The common thread? Attackers are moving fast, and defenders need to shorten response times even more. Welcome to your Security Roundup. We'll cover what changed, why it matters, and what you can do now. Across the landscape, multiple vendors released out-of-band or accelerated updates, and several vulnerabilities moved from disclosure to exploitation in hours, not days. Keep that tempo in mind as we move through the week's priorities. First, Oracle pushes an emergency fix for a critical Identity Manager remote code execution flaw. Oracle released an out-of-band update for CVE 2026-21992, affecting Identity Manager and Web Services Manager, addressing an unauthenticated RCE condition. This follows earlier reporting on the issue and signals elevated risk to identity infrastructure. The key fact is simple. This is unauthenticated code execution on a system that often bridges workforce access and sensitive applications. Why it matters is clear. If an attacker lands RCE on your identity tier, they can pivot to credential stores, workflow approvals, and downstream applications. For defenders, prioritize rapid patching of affected Oracle Identity Manager and Web Services Manager instances, especially anything internet-facing. Until patched, restrict external access, enforce strict network ACLs, and monitor for anomalous process execution and administrative activity originating from the identity stack. Next, U.S. agencies warn that Russian intelligence services are targeting commercial messaging application accounts. A public service announcement details ongoing phishing operations against users of commercial messaging apps, aiming to bypass encryption by compromising individual accounts. Targets include current and former U.S. government officials, military personnel, political figures, and journalists. The key facts underscore a social engineering-first approach. Encryption isn't broken, accounts are. This matters because encrypted channels become transparent once an attacker owns the endpoint identity, enabling collection, impersonation, and disinformation. Defenders supporting high-risk users should brief them on phishing hallmarks and account takeover paths, enable phishing-resistant authentication where available, harden account recovery processes, and increase monitoring for suspicious login patterns, device changes, and sudden contact list alterations on these platforms. In a related development, the FBI links signal phishing attacks to Russian intelligence services. The Bureau warns that threat actors connected to Russian intelligence are actively targeting users of encrypted apps, including Signal and WhatsApp, with campaigns that have already compromised thousands of accounts. The key fact here is scale and focus on encrypted ecosystems widely used by civil society and government-adjacent communities. It matters because compromise at this volume erodes trust in critical communications and can cascade into data theft, extortion, and influence operations. Defenders should push app-level protections, such as registration locks and in-app pins. Encourage users to verify contact changes via out-of-band channels, and enforce mobile device hygiene, up-to-date OS, minimal sideloading, and mobile threat defense for high-risk cohorts. Monitor for patterns of SIM swap indicators and unexpected device re-registrations. Turning to software exploitation speed, a critical Langflow flaw, CVE 2026-21992, triggered attacks within 20 hours of disclosure. The vulnerability, rated 9.3, combines missing authentication with code injection, enabling remote code execution. The key fact is the weaponization window, less than a day from public details to observed exploitation. That pace compresses defenders' patch, isolate, and monitor cycles. It matters because Langflow and similar AI tooling increasingly bridge data pipelines, models, and external services. RCE here can expose credentials, data, and downstream environments. Defenders should immediately remove internet exposure for Langflow, update to the vendor's fixed release once available, and enforce authentication and network segmentation around any AI workflow tooling. Review logs for suspicious API requests and unexpected process activity. Rotate tokens and credentials accessible from affected hosts, and consider WAF rules to block unauthenticated write or code paths while patching proceeds. Finally, a musician admits to a $10 million streaming royalty fraud using AI bots. A North Carolina musician pleaded guilty to collecting over $10 million by artificially inflating play counts across major streaming platforms with automated bots. The key facts show large-scale monetization of synthetic activity across multiple services. This matters beyond media. Adversaries continue to leverage low-cost automation and AI to manipulate platform metrics, siphon funds, and launder proceeds. For defenders in platform trust and safety or fintech roles, strengthen anti-bot controls with device integrity checks, behavioral analytics, and velocity limits. Tighten payout verification with risk scoring, KYC reviews, and anomaly detection on earnings patterns, and audit third-party integrations for abuse paths that can mask automated activity. Stepping back, the week's through line is compression of exploit timelines. Patch windows and the time between phishing and compromise. Make the most of vendor advisories. Stage emergency change windows, pre-approve mitigations for identity and AI tooling, and keep executive communications tight for high-risk user protection. Reinforce fundamentals that cut across these incidents. Reduce internet-exposed admin surfaces. Deploy phishing-resistant authentication wherever possible. Monitor for sudden device or account state changes. And practice rapid credential rotation when application layer RCE is in play. If this briefing helped you prioritize, share it with your team, subscribe for operational updates, and drop your top patch or hardening win from this week. Stay safe, stay patched, and I'll see you in the next roundup.